become aware of how much they're taking in a day.
Yeah.
And this is where, I mean, there's some, I don't know, thoughts as far as macro counting, but this is just more of an awareness time. So I typically recommend someone to maybe take like 2 days or 3 days of just either they can take a picture of their food and we can go over like how much maybe that is like in a meal, or they take pictures throughout the day, or they can get as fancy as getting a food scale and actually like diving into this and writing it down and tracking.
Yeah.
Awareness is going to be number one.
Okay.
And then, based on maybe where they're at and what their needs may be, if we're seeing some of these like deficiencies, is potentially, and most of the time, is increasing it, but
Hmm.
not increasing it just at one meal. It may be, say for breakfast, a very common thing I see is someone may just have 2 eggs. And sometimes that's just not, most of the time it's not enough. So we can add some other sources. Maybe you want to add, if you want to have toast with it, and then we can add some like hemp seeds over it, some avocado, and so that we're just actually getting a little bit more variety in our diet, and
Yes.
we're slowly enhancing that protein as well. But there's, I mean, that's just one example though too, and
Hmm.
so there's just different incorporations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think part of my ignorance on this, but
Okay.
unlike something like vitamin D and other kind of like micro and
Hmm.
vitamins and those types of things, there's not really like a specific lab work test to tell someone if they're deficient in protein, right? Not
Yeah,
necessarily, right?
not necessarily. I wouldn't say there's like in our blood we can test obviously protein and
Sure, yeah.
globulin and albumin,
Hmm.
or if we do like like test if there's protein in the urine.
True.
So we can see that, and most of the time, um, it's not always that it's like, oh, that's a clear. There's just a lot of variables, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's
And
not
I think
always
that's
a
the
clear.
problem with that is
Yeah,
that doesn't tell you that that's a protein deficiency or a protein max. It could be
right.
something else that's doing that.
Well, and you earlier, again, not to go on a tangent, but obviously our digestive function is very important. And we kind of touched on this with vitamin D, but we need to make sure that we're having enough stomach acid, that we have like
Mm.
efficient amount of these enzymes in our uh, in our pancreas, small intestine, to make sure we are absorbing these proteins. So if we have,
Yeah, good point. Yep.
if we are on, say, like a proton pump inhibitor, or just there are various medications and whatever that implement or
Hmm.
halt some of these enzymes